Hello everyone, welcome to my video on A2019 programming, and today we are going to discuss on PDF operations in A2019. So the packages that we are going to discuss today are PDF utils. What I've done is I have downloaded the sample input PDF from one of the online sites. It's just a sample form with fields. There are different kinds of fields, text boxes, drop downs, check boxes. I think we don't have radio buttons over here, but so basically these are the fields that we are going to populate. So we're going to read the fields and find out the field names, and with those field names we are going to populate values in this PDF and save a copy of this PDF somewhere. So let's see how that works. So what the first thing that we're going to do is read form fields. So we need to know what kind of form fields are present in the PDF. So we're going to read the form fields, and let's browse the PDF first. Okay, let me just copy paste the path. Directly over here. So that's our input. We don't need password for this one, and whatever form fields we capture, that needs to come to a dictionary variable. So I have created a dictionary variable dict form fields, so that will capture all the fields, the field names. We save this. Now we need to store this list of fields somewhere. So let's do a log to file. First let's do a loop, and we're looping for each key in a dictionary. So what happens is when we extract the fields from a PDF, the field names are basically the key values. So what we need to do here is we have to choose the dictionary and assign the value to a variable in the loop iteration, and we have to log to file the same path over here. Sorry, it's a log to file, so it's not a PDF file. Where let's say fields.txt, and enter the text, which is prompt assignment, and we can append to the existing log file and save. So if I run this code, I think we need to create the log file first. Let's see. Okay, so the log file got created from automatically, and we open the file and we see that these are the different field names which are present for that PDF. Now we need to set values in these fields. So some of them are text boxes which we can enter free format text, but others are drop downs, some are check boxes. So in those drop downs and check boxes we only can enter standard values. So what we will do is once we have logged the file, we will run a loop. So let's open the file first, PDF file, and see what we need to fill in each of the fields. So let's say given name. We come back to our log file and we put a comma over here, and we say given name is, let's say, John. Gender is male. Given name text box. Why do we have this again? Oh, sorry, that's the height. Okay, so let's say height is 180. Gender is male. Given name text box says John. Country combo box says, let me just click on the country and find out. Let's say Italy. Postcode is a free format text box, I'm guessing. Yep. So it's a free format text box. Let me just put a postcode over here. Language is a checkbox. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 languages. So if you see, there are 5 checkboxes for language. I'm guessing this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, like this. So let's say we need to select English or maybe Latin, and we just need to put everything as blank. So Latin is 5, so remaining will be off. Okay, let's put some city over there. City, we can put a test city over here. Family name text box. So let me just put Smith over here. Then we have a checkbox for driving license, which we can keep as checked. Oh, did I forget to check the language 5? It should be checked. That's Latin, so we need to check that. And remaining 4 are off. And finally we have house number text box and address to text box. Okay, so let me just put a test address over here, and house number 123. Are all the fields done? Address 1. Okay, let me just put the same test address here as well, maybe make it 1 and 2, and I think all the fields are done. So what I'm doing here right now is I'm just putting all the values next to the field names in the text file, and just for the sake of understanding, but the ideal way to do this would be to put it in a CSV file. So put the whatever came as the headers, we can put as headers in the CSV file, and then the values, we can write values in the CSV file, and then we can run the bot together. So okay, so when let's close this and go save this fields.txt file, and we comment our line log to file line so that this file doesn't get disabled, or sorry, this file doesn't get overridden. Now we do a loop of do we need to do a loop over here? Maybe we can just do a CSV text open desktop file and put this file name over here. It doesn't contain a header. We need all the records, and it's actually not comma separated. We'll just pick up all the rows one by one and then split it by commas, so that's up to us. So our delimiter is basically a new line, and encoding is fine. Trim reading and trading spaces, that's fine. So it's a text file, so our delimiter is basically a new line, so every line is one string basically. Now we read this and assign the value to a table. So let's make it tbl text data, and then we close the file. Done. So since we have already pulled out the records in a table, we don't need the file open anymore. We just close the file. Okay, so now we loop for each record in the table, data table for each row in the table. Table is txt data, and our record is rcd text data. So that's our record variable, so every row will come to this. Now before we proceed with this, let's see what kind of data we are getting. So put f2 rcd data by index 0, yes, save it, and let's run this thing. Actually we don't need this as well because we've already extracted the fields, so we run this. Okay, so it anyway started working. So this is the first field, this is the second, third, fourth. So each line of the text box is coming as a different record in the record set, which is good for us because we are going to use this to populate the fields. Okay, so now we delete the message box from here and we go back to our PDF utils and we set the form field. So what we do is we select an output file in the same location, copy paste the location and then put output.pdf. Okay, sorry, this is the input file, so we need to put the input file over here, which is sample input.pdf. And this is the output file over here. So reason we need the input file because the output file will be created in the same template as the input file. Now, as for our form fields, we click on variable and we select insert a value. Okay, let's say we insert okay, so this always accepts dictionary type of variables. So with the form fields that we have, we need to create a dictionary. So we don't do the set forms here, we populate our dictionary here. Okay, so let's go back to our dictionary commands and we'll use the put command over here, and in the variables let's keep a dictionary variable dict output fields, or we can just reuse our dictionary form fields because that already has the key fields, only the values need to be updated. So what we have to do here is string assign okay, it's not assign actually, this is we have to first split our string into two parts. The string that we just read, that is coming in this record set rcd text data. So our source is this rcd text data by index 0, that's our source. So the entire text in this, our delimiter is comma, not case sensitive, all possible, and assign the value to a list variable, which is, let's say, lst record. So each record is going into the list. Now this split command outputs this list. Okay, I don't think even we need this split command. So the best thing to use here would be a string extract text. I'm sorry guys, I'm just planning this as we go. I didn't prepare this, but it's interesting to find out which is the right command to be used for which place. So in this case, instead of going through a list and again looping through the list, I think the best thing to do here is extract text. So our text looks like this. We have the field name over here, then a comma, and then the field value over here. So a comma becomes our identifier, position identifier. So once again, our source is rcd text data by index 0. And we need the text which comes before comma. Sorry, we need the text which comes before comma, so we put comma in the after text box. And we get all the values, we trim the values, and we assign the value to prompt assignment. Now, the value, this is the field name of, okay, let's just create a small variable here, str field name. So that get assigned to field name. Now we just copy and paste this here and put the comma in before instead of after. So now whatever text is preceded by comma, so comma comes before 180, so that will be captured now. So that is basically our field value. We create one more variable, str field value. Okay, so now we have field name and field value. So now we update our dictionary with these two things. So we go for the put command, we choose our dictionary, which is dict form fields, associate with this key. So which is our key? Our key is basically str field value. And what is, sorry, str field name. And the value that we're going to assign to this key is str field value. And assign previous value to a variable, so we are just going to select the same again. So anyway, that will get replaced in the next loop. So in every loop, we're getting a new field name and new field value, and we're assigning our dictionary key with that value. So at the end of the loop, our dictionary is populated. Okay, so now we close this and we go back to our PDF utils and we say set form fields. So that's a single command where we select the input file, which is our sample input.pdf. Password is not required. We select the output file, which is, let's say, output.pdf. Now this output.pdf does not exist. I'm hoping this action will create the file and populate the data with the file. Now let's select our dictionary variable. It's dict form fields. Okay, so let's see if this code runs. We start by opening our log file. So this is our log file. It's already saved. And we read the data into a table. So that table contains both the field name and the value separated by commas. We loop through the table and split the string into two parts. One part contains the field name, one part contains the field value. And based on that, inside the loop, we're assigning the dictionary keys one by one. Once the entire dictionary is ready, we run a command to set the form fields to the output file by taking the input file as a template. So that's our code. Let's run this. Does the output file already exist? It does not exist. Let's run the code. Okay, so it's run successfully without giving any errors. The output.pdf is also created. Let's open this. Okay, so we see that all the values are populated correctly apart from the checkbox values. So we need to see what's going on over there. We have John Smith, address, Italy, gender. Oh, so we gave male, but here it is man and woman. I should have checked this. Sorry about that. But the logic is correct. They should have populated if I had given man. Now we need to check the checkboxes. Why the checkboxes did not get populated? And how did I skip favorite color? Because I don't remember putting anything for favorite color. Okay, so this is the part which I left blank. So let me just go back to the drop down, see what values are there. Orange is there, so let me go with orange. Favorite color list box, orange, and change the gender to, let's say, woman. Now let's come back to the checkbox. So what we did is for the checkboxes that we need checked, we just wrote check over here. Instead of checked, can we just type on? Will it work? Let's see. Okay, just put on in both places and save it. Close the output.pdf, and it's better to delete the output.pdf. Let it create a fresh document, and let's come back to our code and run this code again. Okay, so once again run is successful. Let's go back to our file and check the output. Okay, so we see that all the fields except the checkboxes are now captured. So there must be something wrong with the value that we are giving here, which says on or checked. Okay, so after around 5 to 10 minutes of hit and trial, I finally found the issue. So this needs to be in, I think this is a bit case sensitive, so it needs to be in this way, Y caps and then yes. So any checkbox that needs to be checked should be in this format, and the remaining I just put as off. So now I'll just save this and go back to my code, and as of now my output file does not exist. So I'll just run this code. Code runs fine. Let's go back and check the output file now. Okay, so the driving license checkbox is checked, and the language Latin, that's the fifth checkbox, that is also checked. So if I go back to my text file, the log file, I see that language 5 I put as yes, and driving license checkbox I put as yes. So this is how we read fields from a PDF document, containing form fields, and we create a metadata, and then we upload that data to a copy of the same document, keeping that input document as a template. So just explore the other options. If you face any issues, just drop a message in the comment section. I'll be happy to help you out with that video, and I really hope this was helpful to you guys. Thank you so much.